Hello there one and all, Carol here. I'm doing a little bit more in my autumn journal and then I'm calling it done, and the next time you'll see it I'll have finished it and I'll have been writing in it. So I wanted to share with you some of the other things that I'm going to be doing in here. Alright, so just to let you know, I've done a little bit of stamping here and there, and what else did I do? I added some more washi tape to the ends of my pages. Okay, so the centre, coming back to that shortly. This page I've done a little bit of stamping on it and I'm leaving this page. Now on this one I'm going to use this Tim Holtz stamp set, and it's got a name. Hang on a minute, let me get them out. Its name is, oh, look at that, look, Autumn. There's a surprise. So I'm going to stamp this, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to stamp it on some vellum, not tracing paper but vellum. All right, and I'm going to use my coffee archival ink because this is a permanent ink, and at least once I know that once I've printed it onto here, then it's all going to be safe. It's not going to smudge or anything. Oh, and before I go any further, thank you to all of those that let me know that this is rose quartz. Yeah, rose quartz. Thank you for that. My eyesight's getting terrible. I am blaming all that embroidery on fine fabric years ago. Nothing to do with my age, of course. So, as I said, I am using vellum because this is much, much thicker than tracing paper. So it means that it will hold up really well. So I'll place that on there. Oh, helps if you place them the right way around, Carol. And then I want to leave a little bit of space between them because I want to cut them out individually. Now I have done this in a previous journal and I liked the look of it, so it makes sense to do it again. Right, they're in contact. Ink them up. And as I say, I'm using this archival ink because it's a permanent ink. And in case you didn't know, if you've got new stamps and you've not used them before, a little trick that I learnt was if you put Versamark on them first and then wipe it off with your hand, it kind of gets the stamps ready to accept the ink. So if you're having trouble getting the ink onto your stamps, try that method and it should help you out. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Oh, no, not quite. Hang on. Need to do just that edge again. Otherwise, I think I've got everything. So that's the great thing about these stamping things, is if you make a mucks up, you can go back in and go and redo it. Okay, I'm going to cut these out, wait for that ink to dry, and then I'm going to cut them out individually, and then I'll show you how I'm going to attach them to the page. That's those now all stamped and cut out, but there's something that I wanted to show you first. So that's what it looks like up close. But what you can do is on the back, and I'm just going to use my scribble sticks because I've got them to hand, but if you've got any colouring pencils, and they don't have to be water based, you know, so that you can do ins with them with water, but if you colour in the back, it shows through to the front. So I'm just going to do it slightly lighter at the top, a little bit darker at the bottom, and then if I use the orange one as well to just add a hint of colour in there too, and I'm not doing this neatly. Well, you know, I'm colouring within a bit of the lines, but you know, the outer lines, but I'm not worrying too much about it. And then I'm pressing down heavy on the bottom bit. And when you flip it back over, you see the colour shows through to the front. So here's a leaf that I did earlier. So you can colour them in as well if you want to. And as I say, you don't have to have the scribble sticks, but any colouring pencil will do. Okay, so I'm going to stick these in place. So I'm using my Stampin' Up reel. I'm hoping I've got enough tape on there because there's not a lot left. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it down the middle just to make sure that I've got enough, because it's only for me again. Make sure that you do it on the back. So normally I would put, you know, this, I'd run this tape down the two sides and down the bottom and the top, and then they can sit on there. So I'll have one there, one in the middle, and one at the top. And it just helps again to break up the monotony of that page a little bit. And then the acorn I'm going to put down here. Yeah, I'll run out. Hey ho. Oh, which way around does that go? Goes the other way up, Carol. So I'm just going to put my acorn there. Okay, so that's that page now ready for scribbling on. On this page I want to do a little bit of stenciling, and I'm going to use my peeled paint because of the greens in this side and the greens on that side. So I just want to do up in this top right hand corner. So I'm just going to place it up there, and then I dab off a little bit of the excess inside the lid if I'm a bit worried that there might be a bit too much ink on my dauber, my dibby dabby dauber. And as I say, I just want to do a hint of it. Let's lift that up and have a look. Yeah, a little bit further round, I think. Sorry if the camera's wobbling. Yeah, that's enough. And that's that ready. And then again, once I start writing in it, I'll probably do some stenciling on this side as well and add some stickers and things. Okay, next page. Now, one of the things that I've done is on those little flippy flappy bits, I've added some paper, but I'm going to show you that in a minute with the little one, because I've added it on the big one but not the little one. And this is the page with these colours on, and I've got some index cards that I coffee dyed, and they coffee dyed up great, and I want to add them as a kind of waterfall on this side, but they're a little bit too wide. So I just want to measure, I think I'm going to have them to about there, and then I'm going to cut them all down to the same size. So these are now all cut to the same size, and I've got these little scraps here which I'll keep because I can use those later on. And then what I'll do is I'll position them, bottom one first, then the middle one, and then the top one. I'm then going to use my micropore, and for those that can't understand my accent, there's the word, micropore, right? Surgical tape basically, but that's the trade name of it. And I'm going to attach these with the micropore, so I'm going to use that as a hinge. So I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm not actually going to do it now. I like micropore, I use it a lot because it's much better than washi tape. It's sticky for a start, and then that will be on the top up there, and then I'll flip it over and I'll add another piece of micropore on the back so that that acts as the hinge. Now I'm using this instead of washi tape because I'd have to faff about with glue and stuff as well, but it also becomes sort of invisible. Alright, once you sort of burnish it down, it kind of blends into the background a bit because I want to decorate these up. Now, some of the bits and pieces that I'd got left over, I've got this strip left over and it fits beautifully colour-wise with the inks on that page. So I thought it would be quite nice to decorate these index cards up with some strips of the excess paper and maybe some other little diddly-doos as well. So I'm not going to decorate this one because I need to sit and play with some bits and pieces, but I wanted you to get the idea so that then I've got a writing card to write on, and I've also got the back side of it, and then there'll be the next one, and then I can write on the back side of that. But it also means, because I'm only adding 3, I've got this bit of space in between where I can add some decoration, so that will flip up, and then there'll be a space for some decoration there. And when that third one flips up, I've then got all of this space down here that I can also write on. So it actually creates a lot of writing space. I've fussy cut out some of the mushrooms and toadstools and I've added those on, and I added a strip of music tape here, music paper, sorry. Now this one, it was a full sheet and I cut a section off the end. So what I did was I folded it in half and then folded those pieces in half again, so the last quarter I cut off so that I can open it up like this. So I cut off this section here, right? Then on the back side of this section I added glue across the top, the bottom and this edge down here, so that when that folds up I've actually got a pocket in here now, so a secret little pocket. All right, so if I open it back out again, it was a full sheet, cut off that edge, put glue around there, stuck that onto the page and then concertinaed it back up. I added some music paper on the edge, and I might add a tab on there as well, so that that pulls out that way and also that way, so that I can write on this inside. And I've also got a pocket in there as well. Now obviously as well, this springs open and it flips and flaps everywhere, so I want to use a paper clip. So I fussy cut out another one of the flowers, and using up some of this index card paper that I've just trimmed off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my paper clip to attach to this to hold it down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this strip isn't any wider than the flowers. I'm going to trim a little bit off that, I think. I just want it a little bit narrower. And I want it so that it's as long as the flower, a little bit less. All right, so you can see how much I've trimmed that down. Then I'm going to take this piece and get my paper clip, and I'm going to attach the paper clip just as you would normally, but I'm going to leave a little bit of the loopy bit at the top. Okay, maybe a little bit more than that, so a bit like that. Can you see that? I don't know why I'm asking, because you can't answer me. And then I'm going to get my glossy accents. Now, not on the long side, but on the short side. I'm going to add the glossy accents on there around the inside of that paper clip so that it will adhere to the card. I'm then going to get some micropore, and people often ask me what it is. It's just white surgical tape. You can also get it in a flesh colour as well, and it's a little bit like a washi tape, but it's sticky, unlike washi tape. And then I'm going to put a piece of this micropore on the top, and then that will ensure that that is holding that paper clip in place, because it's stuck to the paper clip. It's stuck to the paper clip, it's stuck to the glue, and it's stuck to the paper. So it's well and truly holding that paper clip in place. Then I'm going to put some glue over the whole of that piece of card. And then my flower will sit on top of that. Which way up do I want it? That way? Yeah, let's have it that way. And I'm going to have that little bit of paper clip showing at the top. Once that is all dried, that will then hold that in place, and will stop it from flopping about, so that it sort of looks like that. It looks as though it's part of the page, and that's the back side of it. So I could do the same on this side. I could add a little dangle on it. With that little loop that I've got at the top, I could add some fibres to the top of that. And then on this painted side over here, I'd got this little bit of scrappy bit of paper left, so I thought about punching that out and then maybe using this leftover bit of graph paper and adding that on the bottom down there. So I might do that on there, and then it sort of ties it all in together. But I'll keep those in there for now in that pocket, and I'll have a little think about that side. This page I'm going to leave, because I'll write on it and decorate it up accordingly. I might even add a little bit of napkin on there, not quite sure yet. Next page I added this, which matches beautifully with this inked paper. See, it goes really well. And I actually cut it out so that it's got this scalloped edge at the bottom, and I've added it with the washi tape at the top and with underneath, so that it acts as the hinge. So then I've got both this side and this side to write on. Now this piece was the other small piece that I want to line and add a pocket to, and I'm using my Tesco's non-stick grease-proof and baking paper. Okay, and it's brown. That's why I got it, because of it being brown. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to leave my scissors there to stop it rolling, and I'm adding glue down these two long sides. And the nice thing is because of the texture of this paper, it makes that nice crinkly sound. So I'm just placing glue along there and there. And leaving the two short ends open so that it makes the pocket, and then I'll sit that on there. Cut away some excess. And then I can trim it down to size. Then I'm going to punch a semicircle, a thumb hole at each end. And then I can ink up around the edges. And the other thing that I can then do is I can take this to the sewing machine and I can stitch along the top and the bottom to make sure that it's all definitely held in place. And then I formed some pockets in there. I won't pull on it now because the glue's not set, but I formed some pockets there. and then that can slip back inside. So I'll stitch those before I stitch my signature in place. On this page I just did a fussy cut of part of the page, so I've got a really nice big pocket there. And then again I'll leave that one blank because it's the last page in the book. I might want to write a little something special on that back page. So I'm kind of leaving it there, apart from that middle, which is, I keep saying I'll come back to that later. Okay, it's that later moment. Now I can't stick all of it in place because my signature needs to be stitched into the journal, and at the moment I've just got a piece of elastic holding it in place. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. All right, I've cut out one of the pages, I've trimmed off all the white edges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half, and then just for now finger press it. Then I'm going to open it back up, and I'm going to fold these outside edges into the centre. Now it doesn't have to be exactly spot on, as long as it's as near as damn it is to swearing close to that centre bit. Okay, so that it will do that, but it would also do that because it'll fold in half. So it's now split into 4 sections. Okay, what I'm then going to do is I'm going to glue, so you've got 1 fold line, 2 fold lines, 3 fold lines. So on this first fold line on the left hand side of it, I'm going to put some glue there. And I'm also going to put some glue just across that bottom quarter section. And then they're going to fold in half. Okay, so we've now got that's loose and that's loose, but these 2 sections here are joined together, right? So I'm going to fold that back on itself. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to fold that back on itself. And then once I've stitched my signature in, I'm going to place glue on this back side here around 3 sides. Okay, so around those 3 sides there, and then that will sit on there and it will make a pocket. This then flaps, it's a loose flap, and then on this side I'm going to place glue around the 3 sides, and then that will sit on that side. Okay, so then I've got a pocket here, this bit will flap, and then I've got a pocket here, but I've also got a pocket inside that section there. So if I put a thumb hole there again, let's make sure I'm getting it in the centre, thereabouts. So now it means I can have a really long tag inside that pocket, and my stitching, which would be here, is covered up by the whole page, so that will flap that way and it will also flap that way, and I've also got a pocket here and a pocket here. All right, so I hope you understood that. Hope it made sense, but as you can appreciate, I can't put it in yet because I need to stitch this signature in place. There's a few other bits and pieces that I want to do to the journal, which I'll get done this afternoon. Then I'll stitch the signature in, and I'm calling that ready now for me to write in. So I hope that you've enjoyed the process of me making this quick journal, and it's given you a little bit of inspiration about what you can do for yourself Yeah, and I'm looking forward to showing you when I've done some writing in it and kind of what it looks like. Oh, that was the other page that I did, that graph paper pocket. So I did some stamping on it, some faux stitching, and I stuck those things down, and I used an S for September. So yeah, it's coming together quite nicely. I'm quite pleased with how it's looking. So thank you very much for all your lovely comments. And as I say, I hope it's given you some inspiration for your own journal if you're doing one for yourself for autumn. And I'll see you all again really soon in the next video. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.